of the flagship event of MCCIA, Finance for MSMEs. This program is initiated to help businesses bridge the gap between the borrower and lender. We'll begin this program without much ado. I would like to invite our Director General to kindly set the context of the meeting. Mr. Prashant Girpani.
Thank you so much, Manjari. First of all, let us all welcome Sri Atish Kumar Singh ji, who is the Joint Secretary at Ministry of MSME. We're very, very glad, sir, that you could take time out and join this program today to address all of us. So I'm going to keep it very short and brief so that all get to hear you, because that's what we're very keen to. As I continue, I'll be requesting my colleague Amol to keep all of us on mute other than those who are speaking. Thank you. Let me also welcome all the speakers who have gathered here, including speakers from Bank of Maharashtra, Central Bank of India, Cosmos Cooperative Bank, SIDBI, Early Salary, and tomorrow we would have a few more of them. I should also welcome all the attendees for whom this program is being organized. Let me take a couple of minutes and thereafter I'll hand it over to the Joint Secretary. You all are very well aware that there are more than 6.3 crore MSMEs in India. You all are also very well aware that there are more than 11 crore jobs supported by MSMEs in the country. Many of you would already know that almost half the exports in India is contributed by MSMEs. That's the importance of MSMEs. Let's look at the topic of the day. We all understand the importance of land, labor, and capital for any economy to grow, for any organization to grow. Because those are the three factors of production, as we learned in Economics 101. Looking at one of those, which is capital, it's important that we have access to both equity and credit. But in a country that is still developing, there is a limited amount of equity in the capital bucket, and hence the importance of credit. Today, most of you bankers would already be aware that if you look at the amount of credit outstanding to the MSMEs in the country, that stands at about 20 trillion rupees, 20 lakh crore rupees. That's pretty significant and big, but not as much as it should be. Various studies have demonstrated that at this level of economy, the amount of credit availability for MSMEs should be around 50 trillion rupees, which is about 50 lakh crore. So 50 lakh crore is what it should be, 20 lakh crore is what it is. So the gap that we are talking about in credit availability and credit requirement is about 30 lakh crore in India. So if today the credit outstanding in the country is about 20 lakh crore, the MSMEs in this country can help you all banks grow at least 100%, if not more, at this level of economy. Of course, as the economy continues to grow, the requirement would be even more. MSMEs would need a credit that is accessible and a credit that is affordable. Affordable because you all understand that on occasions, the 85% of the credit that MSMEs take, which is informal credit, right, much of it is not affordable because they end up paying a lot bigger spread on top of the LIBORs or the repos, or even the bank credit or the bank loan rate. To talk about this today, we have a very senior official from the Ministry of MSME, the Joint Secretary, Sri Atish Kumar Singh ji. We're very, very thankful to you for taking time out to address us. You would also hear tomorrow other officers from MSME DI, the director from Maharashtra region. Today and tomorrow, you would get to hear from banks, NBFCs, and some fintechs on what steps they are taking to bridge this credit gap, so that they make you aware of credit facilitation, and many of the attendees, both on this platform as well as many of those 3,000 companies who would get to hear the recorded version, they would certainly benefit from it. As I mentioned, I'm not going to take long. This is going to be an exciting session today as well as tomorrow. That's been put together by my colleague Manjari. I'm going to now stop here and hand it over to Manjari, who could invite the Joint Secretary of MSME so that we all could hear him. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to also let you know that the partners for our event are Bank of Maharashtra, Central Bank of India, and SBI General Insurance. From Bank of Maharashtra, we have Mr. Rajesh Singh. From Central Bank of India, we have Mr. Sandeepta Patel. And also joining us shortly is CA Milind Kale, who is Chairman of the Cosmos Cooperative Bank. A warm welcome to all of you. I would like to welcome our Chief Guest, Mr. Atish Kumar Singh, Joint Secretary, AFI, Ministry of Micro and Small and Medium Enterprises. I'll give a very brief introduction of sir. I have a long introduction with me, but I'll make it very brief for the benefit of our participants. Mr. Atish Kumar brings with him 25 years of experience in civil administration, policy formulation and implementation, institutional regulation, and product development since 1997. He has been a part of the Ministry of Railways. He's been a part of Ministry of Finance at very lead roles where he has been handling policy making and implementation and has handled minute details of administration as well and coordination with various stakeholders. He has been involved with SIDBI, National Housing Bank, Board of Industrial and Financial Reconstruction, National Credit Guarantee Trust Corporation of India. With the Ministry of MSME, Government of India, Mr. Atish Kumar has been looking into policy formulation and execution of MSME credit and negotiations with the World Bank. He has established 20 new technology centers and 100 extension centers on a PPP mode across the country. Coordination with the Ministry of Finance and RBI to develop blockchain processes on trade has been his specialization. Besides, he has been involved in innovative product development in fintech bodies, in coordination with RBI, state governments, and private sector and the Finance Ministry. A very warm welcome to you, sir, and we are very eager to hear what you have to share with us on the initiatives of the Ministry. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Can you hear me, first of all?
Yes.
Okay. So, very good afternoon to everybody, and I would like to begin by just let everybody in the house and all of us, all people who are hearing us, to share with you what are exactly the kind of challenges the sector is facing. If you look at the entire amount of and the spectrum of things and activities that are going on in the MSME space, there are some general problems in the MSME which everybody knows. We have issues on the access to technology front. There are issues on access to finance, access to markets. There are huge problems on the formalization and inclusion front. There are also big problems on the skill and labor and the infrastructure of the MSMEs. So these are the known generic problems, and each sector has its own finer points and nuances to deal with. Having said that, we moved into the COVID scenario and we still are not pretty much out of it. The COVID brought in more problems. It's so much so it broke the back of the MSME sector. We saw various at various levels huge business losses. There were very low or sometimes no orders. There were problems on the availability of the workforce and the labor. Raw material availability became such a big problem because of the movement and restrictions and lockdowns. The cost of production consequently went up. Liquidity became a problem. We were still, grappling with the NBFC crisis, and then COVID, further created more dents into that. Inventory got held back, and that obviously means the cost of supply chains got disrupted. There were shortages, in the components and the intermediate products. There was a declining and diminishing consumer confidence, and also came along with COVID are issues, in health and hygiene, which added to the costs of the MSMEs. Now, as a result of COVID, of these problems, I personally thought, 4 things came out of that. Now, issues of the MSME with respect to their survival, that became the foremost. Then there are issues on sustainability and competitiveness. And then, how do we get out of this? What kind of resilience was available and what kind of resilience was potentially available? Those are factors which we thought were very important, and that is where the ministries and the government's focus is, to get into each of these areas and help the MSME sector in its revival path. Also, I would like to mention, there are problems which came up because of COVID, in the sense, like I mentioned about health and hygiene, which became an added factor. Now there is greater consciousness towards the hygiene, towards the product quality, towards the product, the resources and the optimal utilization of those, which all contribute to, to the competitiveness and sustainability of the MSME. And another big thing which happened out of the COVID is both the process of digitization and digitalization. Now, I'm going to talk about each of these things and how the government is trying to address, all of that. And but my focus, because there are, like I said, all these problems are in all the generic problems of the industry. But I would restrict my discussion to the credit side today. So before I get into that, also, I would like to mention that these are yeah. So the lending landscape today is moving very, very rapidly. And it has also shown, the market has shown that it is moving from a bank-dominated system to a hybrid. There is also a realization which is setting in that there are a lot of other players in this finance space which are contributing massively towards the financial needs of the MSMEs. So we have a whole ecosystem of NBFCs. There are MFIs. There are small finance banks, there are neobanks, and then there is fintech. Fintech is an exploding world. We have multiple and varied products available, both on the financial and the non-financial services side. On the regulatory front, as you all know, there are a lot of guidelines that have been brought out by the RBI. We have now guidelines for NBFC account aggregators. There are P2P players, there are payment banks. So there are several things happening over there. Also, there is the self-regulatory regime for the payment system which has been developed. Then, on the regulation front, the RBI has also established something called REBIT, as all of you know, on deal with RegTech. That is the India Information Technology Private Limited. This is an agency which is going to help the regulatory world to understand how we are going to get into the the IT audit and assessment. The RBI also allows today a sandbox wherein you can test and simulate your new financial products. There is also, everybody knows that, and it is something that is the CBDC, the central bank digital currency. That is also in the works. So these are all things which are happening very, very fast on the fintech space. And the credit process itself is undergoing a massive churning. The MSME financing has traditionally been dealt with by looking at things like collateral, tangible collaterals, cash flow statements, and so forth. But what we are now looking or staring at is things like alternative data for the appraisal process of credit, and that obviously has brought in faster credit and cheaper credit and even more credit. But I would like to bring in a word of caution over here. As part of the process to join the bandwagon of digitization and digitalization, I have a brief fear that there is also a sense of rushed digitization. People are joining this bandwagon without truly understanding the nuances of this. And if you look at the system, there are several issues which can be flagged over, which we can talk about. But if you just look at the system of alternative data, which is the primary moving force for the credit appraisal on the fintech world, we have to look at the data over here. The data over here is very much informal. It is non-standardized. It is unstructured. There are a lot of hidden things over there which a lot of people do not understand. It is leading to a lot of fraud. There are several cases have been have come up, and we've seen things happening. People losing money over here. There is misuse of agreements, and there is, everybody knows, there are a lot of harassment on the recovery front. There are zero or very limited grievance redressal mechanisms on this front. And the implementation of the fair practices code is something which still needs to be discussed, debated, and understood on the fintech side. So these are all issues I'm flagging which the government is trying to look at and work upon, and how we can bring more sense and stability into these systems. Another area we are working on is something called something which is there in the US, that is the TILA, that is the Truth in Lending Act. We are trying to work on this front to have some kind of an arrangement and which has certain rules with respect to providing disclosures, informed use of credit, legal remedy, which will include both fronts. As you know, a lot of banks have got into arrangements with the fintechs, and a lot of NBFCs are being used as fronts by the fintech world. All this is going to play out, and how all this is going to come under the regulatory regime is something which needs to be worked upon, and that is what we are very, very seriously looking at. Another area on the finance side is the MSME receivables. The MSME receivables is, according to some estimate, is a 5 lakh crore market. That much amount of money is locked in over here. Related to that are the issues of delayed payment. The present system of the Ministry of MSME, which plays out into the industry, is through the MSME Act of 2006, where we have created an architecture to find resolution on this front through MSEFCs, which are the Micro Small Enterprises Facilitation Council, as you all know. But what we are trying to do now is obviously trying to improve upon what is presently available. At the same time, we are looking very, very seriously on TReDS and how we can bring. Already, as you know, the Factoring Act has been in the bill, has been passed. It has now become an act. NBFCs have been boarded, and what now needs to be done to bring more traction into this space is to get TReDS more activated. How are we going to do that is something I would like to share. So we are trying to, as you know, there is also something called a Samadhan portal of the ministry, which helps you move through the resolution process on the MSEFC front. So First of all, presently Samadhan is just a tracker. We are converting that into a transactional kind of a platform. We are also looking at how to engage with private enterprise to get into this Samadhan space. We are also developing a blockchain mechanism, though there is a rudimentary form of blockchain available on the trade front. We are trying to get into that area and to find solutions with respect to the operations on the trades through blockchain. So one of the problems, as you know, in the trades is that there are you need to get acknowledgement of the both the buyer and the seller to be able to operate over there, and that takes its own time to to get the clearances. So if we are able to convert that and put it on the blockchain, we will be able to eliminate this. It will become faster and faster. Also in the works is the interoperability mechanism of the Samadhan portal with the trades portal, with the CERSAI portal, which is the registry for this, and with the GEMS portal. At the same time, we are also building something called a PAYDEX, which will be a payment index to monitor and track and look at the information with respect to delayed payments. And we are trying to find ways to get capture information through secondary data to develop this index. And once we have this in position, we are going to use this index to nudge banks and the lending agencies to look at the financing side of the large corporates and the people who are into the payments arrangement with the MSMEs. One last item I would also share with you is on the resolution of the delayed payments. See, as you know, the MSCFC mechanism operates, but we are trying to build a one slot just before you formally enter into the MSCFC regime. We are trying to develop ADR and ODR mechanisms so that we get into the space of resolution through mediation or negotiation or settlement, and resolve the problem there and then, and don't go into the formal side of get into a quasi-judicial process of the MSCFC. That will prevent because this is an added cost to the MSME. That would certainly get out if this mechanism comes into play. So we will be out of the arbitration, we will be out of the judiciary if we are able to develop the ADR and ODR comprehensively over here. Now we are working with a lot of agencies to develop this concept, and something we are hoping which will create a lot of action on the delayed payments front. Just one last item I want to share is that the ministry also runs a champions portal, which is presently in the form of a grievance redressal system. But we are increasing the scope of that by developing a lot of interoperability with all other portals, not just of the ministry but also of different state governments and different other implementing agencies, so that all the benefits and schemes can be taken up from one particular space, including the Udyam registration portal. And as part of that, if you look at the grievances which are coming into the champions portal, there the analysis shows that about 60% of the problems in the MSMEs face are on the finance side, and out of the 60 to 60%, I would say about 65 to 70% are just linked to rejection of loans. And the present system is such that there is everything is a manual arrangement. He says that once the MSME approaches the ministry through the champions portal, that a loan has got rejected, the portal has got nodal officers from all the banks of the country and a lot of NBFCs, and through a manual intervention and speaking to the banks and the management, we are trying to find resolution over there. So at this point of time, we've been able to convert about 20% of the loan rejection into actual disbursals of loans. While this is the case, what we are also attempting to do is to provide a mechanism or a bridge, as it were, for the people who are getting their loans rejected, or the MSMEs whose loans have been rejected, to come back to the Champions portal and with the help of the banks and NBFCs and other lending agencies, find out what were the problems in the loan application, what were the reasons of this rejection, and we try to address those problems and redevelop the loan application. And the loan application is sent back to the same bank, and the bank then comes out with its own terms and conditions with how the loan is going to be finally paid out. While that is something which is presently already going on, but we are hoping to use the redeveloped loan proposal to be now offered to not just the bank that rejected it, but to all other banks, all other lending players. And how we are going to do that is we are developing API exchanges and bridges with different lending portals. So we hope to get into a bridge with the PSB 59 portal. We hope to get into a bridge with several fintechs. We hope to get into a bridge with OCEN. If you know about OCEN, Open Credit Enablement Network, that is also something which is happening on this front. And so ultimately, what will happen for the MSME is that the MSME whose loan got rejected was running after the bank to get a loan, and now with a redeveloped and restyled loan proposal, we are hoping to get into an arrangement where the banks are running after the MSME to give them a loan. So that is the final aspiration of this program. I would like to pause my statement over here. There are many other things we can talk about, but I thought since we are focusing on the finance side, and these are some of the things which we are attempting to do, I thought it would be a nice idea to share with you. Thank you.
Manjari, can you hear me? Thank you so much, Jay sir. I think it was very, very helpful to understand various facets that you covered. More importantly, it's wonderful to hear that something like a Samadhan would go beyond being a tracker. Very, very important to hear that a Champions portal that was launched recently, possibly a little more than a year ago, is actually delivering substantive value by getting 1/5 of the loans, those who are rejected, kind of like actually getting disbursed. I think these are some of the very important things. Also, you shared about the development that's happening on OCEN and other fronts. I think we'll keep a track of these, and we as a chamber would continue to take forward the schemes as well as the policies of the ministry to the members as well as non-members in this part of the country. With that assurance, we once again thank you. Thank you so much for taking your time out and coming. We'll soon be having also Honorable Minister talking to us sometime possibly next week is what his office told us. So it is wonderful to have this base before that discussion with Honorable Minister happens. So very, very thankful to you, and I'll hand it over to Manjari now to take forward the program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Atish Kumar ji, for coming and enlightening us on all the measures that the government is taking to lighten up the burden of the MSMEs. It has been very heartwarming listening to you. Thank you so much for your presence, sir.